football fans, we are ready for NFL picks for week number 5 in the league where they play for pay. Great to be back with you. The best audience in all of YouTube continues to be right here. September is gone. We're in October already. 1/4 of the way through the season. I had another good week. Last week, 11-4, 25-7 the last 2 weeks, 45-20 overall. Let's keep it cooking. Week number 5, pick number 1. Let's go up to Buffalo, that madhouse up there in Buffalo, where the Buffalo Bills are -14 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers down to 1-3, lost to the Jets. Trubisky takes a seat on the bench. Pickett in. I've been saying this for weeks. Pickett will be the Steelers' starting quarterback. They didn't pick him in the first round to keep him on the bench for long. Trubisky is not the answer, never was going to be the answer. That's why Michael Wilbon on PTI was clueless. Wilbon the whole summer was saying Trubisky was going to have a big year under Mike Tomlin. Week 4, he took a seat on the bench. Michael Wilbon, wake up. Steelers don't have many playmakers on defense either. Watt and Fitzpatrick are both hurt. Steelers' offensive line isn't great. The Steelers are going to have a long year. I think the Steelers will have their first losing season under Tomlin. Time to rebuild with Pickett. They're already 1-3. Their next 4 games. At Buffalo, home for Tampa, at Miami, at Philly. Ouch. Steelers could be looking at 1-7. I mean, the best you could hope for there is 2-6, right? Going to be a long year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then you have the Buffalo Bills. They're up to 3-1. I hammered them last week after that atrocious loss to Miami, the way they handled that game. They responded here in a big way down in Baltimore. They're down 20-3 on the road, and they come all the way back and win the game. Allen, the big scramble at the end to tie it up. They win it at the end. Have the big pick in the end zone as well. Nice, gutty, gritty win by the Buffalo Bills. Nice job by them. As far as this particular game, listen, for all you super teaser lovers, 14 teaser lovers, you got to use the Bills. You have to use it. The Bills are going to crush Pittsburgh. This game should be over in the second quarter. Pittsburgh doesn't have the firepower to match Buffalo. Buffalo wins this game big. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go the dog pound in Cleveland. Where the LA Chargers are -3 against the Cleveland Browns. Chargers up to 2-2, beat the Texans. Got off to a big lead in this game. Kind of let the Texans get back into it, but the Chargers put it away late. Herbert and Eckler had that combination going all day. Chargers still got a lot of guys out. Bosa's out. The left tackle's out for the year. Allen's still out. Chargers still got issues. How about Mack for the Chargers, by the way? I think he's got 5 sacks. He's playing well. Cleveland, they're down to 2-2, lost to Atlanta. Of course, Garrett doesn't play. He was in that car accident. We'll see about this week. Like so many games in the NFL, there's so much parity. A lot of 2-2 teams. A lot of 3-point spreads. I have no idea who's going to win this game. So if I'm going to play this game, I'm moving it to 9 in a 2-team teaser and taking the Browns. I have the Browns at home with 9 points, and it should be close. Should be close. So I'll take the Browns there, +9, a 2-team teaser at home. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3, let's go to the Big Easy in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Superdome! Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. With the New Orleans Saints, who dat? On -4.5 against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle up to 2-2, scored 1,000,000 points against Detroit. Geno Smith played out of his mind. Lockett had a big game. Metcalf had a big game. Penny running the ball had a big game. Seattle did whatever they wanted on offense. Nice job by Seattle getting up to 2-2. I also saw a stat on Seattle. I think in their last 11 games they've played that 1 o'clock Eastern time zone game, they're like 10-1. That's surprising. I didn't think they'd have that good of a record. 10-1 the last 11 games, something like that, in those 1 o'clock Eastern time zone games. Then you got the Saints. They're 1-3. Lost to Minnesota in London. Had the double doink at the end. Thomas is hurt. Winston is hurt. Dalton is in there at quarterback. The Saints got all sorts of problems. First of all, I don't love their quarterback situation at all. I don't like Winston. I don't like Dalton. Obviously, Hill's not the answer. Drew Brees, where are you? The Saints have some talent in certain spots, but I think it's going to be a long year now for the Saints. I'm going to move the line to 10.5 and take Seattle. I mean, I just can't trust New Orleans as a favorite. Even if you think the Saints are going to win, you can't think they're going to win by a lot. So if I get Seattle with 10.5 points, I have to like that. I'm going to go with Seattle and Geno Smith from West Virginia, Country Roads, pick number 3. Pick number 4, let's go to Los Angeles, where the LA Rams are -5 against the Dallas Cowboys. This spread may go down because of how bad the Rams played last night. Remember, I use the early lines. A week later, these lines could change. So I always tell you, if you like a line early in the week, jump on it, because it may change. And vice versa. If you don't like a line, stand tight. Sit tight. It may change in your benefit. Remember, I'm using the Sunday lines the week before the game. They're going to change, most of them. So the Rams are -5 against Dallas in Los Angeles. Dallas is up to 3-1, beat Washington. This game was close, but Dallas pulled away late. Cooper Rush, what can you say about him? 4-0 as a starter, 3-0 this year. He's doing a tremendous job. Cowboys now have that receiving core back intact. Gallup is back. Lamb playing well. Brown looks like a good player. Defense is doing some good things for Dallas. Dallas has done a nice job. They had the horrible loss in against Tampa Bay in week 1. They've come back with 3 nice wins in a row with the backup quarterback. So that's a good job by the Dallas Cowboys. Listen, Dak Prescott may play this week. When Dak Prescott is ready to play, he's playing. I mean, as well as Cooper Rush, has done, Dak Prescott is making $40 million a year. He's not sitting on the bench. Rams are down to 2-2. They got beat up by San Francisco on Monday Night Football. They got all sorts of problems on the offensive line. Have problems with receiver as well. Remember, Odell Beckham Jr. is still out. Jefferson's out. I mean, they got all sorts of problems, the Rams, right now. But again, they had all sorts of problems last year, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. It's early. As far as this game, Rams are 5-point favorite at home against Dallas. I'm going to move the line to 11 and take Dallas. The Rams gave up 1 million sacks to San Francisco, and Dallas can rush the passer. So I think Dallas is definitely going to be in this game. I think they can win this game, no matter who's quarterbacking. So I like Dallas plus 11 in Los Angeles. There'll be a ton of Cowboy fans there as well. That's pick number 4. How about them Cowboys? Pick number 5. This is the Sunday Night Football game. Let's go to Baltimore, where the Baltimore Ravens are -3.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Hooday. Bengals up to 2-2, beat Miami on Thursday Night Football. The Bengals have won 2 in a row, so they've stabilized after the tough start. Baltimore down to 2-2. As I mentioned, they lost to Buffalo. I mean, Baltimore's last 2 home games, they're up 35-14 against Miami and lose. They're up 20-3 against Buffalo and lose. That's a bad job by Baltimore. You have to win both of those games, or at least one. You can't lose both. And when the game was tied with 4 minutes to go, Baltimore had a 4th and 2 deep in Buffalo territory. I would have kicked the field goal there. Baltimore went for it. Jackson throws the pick in the end zone. The game remains tied, and Buffalo goes down and wins the game. I would have kicked the field goal there and gone up 3, put some pressure on Buffalo. I didn't like that decision at all. It's not a no-brainer. I would have kicked the field goal there and went up 3. Baltimore did not. They throw a pick. They get no points out of that drive. Buffalo comes down and scores. So 2 bad home losses this year for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to move this line to 9.5 and take Cincinnati. This is a big division game. The Bengals have won 2 in a row. I think it has to be close. I think this game is coming right down to the end, so I feel comfortable with the Bengals with 9.5 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. This is the Monday Night Football game where all my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. The Kansas City Chiefs are at home -7.5 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are up to 1-3. Beat Denver. I thought the Raiders controlled most of this game. Carr, I thought, played well. Jacobs had a big game. They had the huge fumble return. I thought the Raiders were the better team in this football game, and they needed that game in the worst way. Couldn't go to 0-4. Couldn't do it. Chiefs, they're up to 3-1. How good did the Chiefs look down in Tampa Bay, especially offensively? When they get going offensively, they are unstoppable. I don't care who Mahomes is throwing the ball to. When they get going, they remind me of the Showtime Lakers that would throw like a 20-point run on you. And I know I'm mixing apples and oranges, basketball, the NBA and the NFL. But that's who they remind me of, the Showtime Lakers with Magic Johnson and Worthy and Kareem when they got that fast break going and all of a sudden you look up and they just hit you with a 25-0 run. The Chiefs do that to you. I mean, they started this game, bang, 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 touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Tampa Bay was like, what just hit them? And the game is pretty much over. I mean, the Chiefs can do that to you. They're a red wave. They just keep crashing on the beach. Another very good division game. These two teams have a lot of animosity towards each other. A little risky here, but I'm going to move the line to 13.5 and take the Raiders. I know it's always dangerous going against Kansas City, especially at Arrowhead, Monday night. But I think the Raiders are going to be in this game. They've been in, all four of the Raider games have been close this year. I think they're going to be able to hang in the game. And 13.5 points is a boatload in a big division game. So I'm going to move it to 13.5 and take the Las Vegas Raiders to at least hang around in a two-team teaser on Monday Night Football. That's pick number 6. Just win, baby. Pick number 7. Let's go out to the desert, Arizona, where the Philadelphia Eagles fly. Eagles fly a -5.5 against the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals up to 2-2, beat Carolina. Defense dominated the game. J.J. Watt, who had a heart procedure 3 days before, was in the game. And they played well. The Arizona defense played well in this game. Philadelphia, how about them? Only undefeated team left in the NFL. They're up to 4-0. They beat Jacksonville. They're down 14-0. They come storming back to win. Same story. Hurts is playing out of his mind. They are doing everything right now, Philadelphia. Everything right. They look like a good, solid football team. We questioned Hurts. Looks good. I'm going to move this line to 11.5 and take Arizona. I get Arizona at home with 11.5 points, and I think they can at least hang around. Again, when you're getting that many points at home, and Arizona's a decent team, you can't expect Philadelphia to keep bombing teams. I said that last week when I took Jacksonville in a teaser. You can't expect Philadelphia every week to bomb everybody, especially now on the road. I think Arizona will be in this game. I'm going to take Arizona plus 11.5 in the desert in a two-team teaser. That's pick number 7. Number 8, let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, not too far from here, where the Miami Dolphins fins up a -3 against the New York Football Jets. Jets are up to 2-2, had a good road win in Pittsburgh. Zach Wilson had the big drive at the end, Davis a touchdown. That was a nice win by the Jets. Nice win by the Jets. Coach was all fired up. Good to see Zach Wilson get that game-winning drive. Miami, they're down to 3-1, lost to Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. The whole Tua situation, he got hurt again. Now he's going to miss this game. You got Teddy Ballgame Bridgewater in there. Here's one thing people are not talking about. I know they fired the doctor. They threw him to the alligators, and everyone's blaming everybody else. How about we don't play Thursday Night Football? I don't hear anyone talking about that. Tua and the Dolphins, as I said, just played a big division game against Buffalo on Sunday. Physical game. And then you make them come back on the road just a few days later against a good Cincinnati team. That's asking the players to do too much. They should not play Thursday Night Football, and I've been saying this for years. I don't need it. The players don't want it. It's just, you're risking the players' health here as well. You're playing on Sunday and then playing on Thursday. The players are not used to doing that. We can live without Thursday Night Football. But the NFL is greedy. They want to control another day of the week with their Amazon Prime and another thing you got to sign up for. The NFL is greedy, and that's why they want the games on Thursday night. I say do away with all the Thursday night games, with the exception of the 2 Thanksgiving Day games, Dallas and Detroit, because it means so much to those cities. Now people say, well, Mike, what do you mean? You're saying to keep those games? Why do you want to keep those games? Listen, you can work around those games. This is how I'd orchestrate those 2 games, with Dallas and Detroit. You play a game, then you have your bye week, then the 4 teams involved in the Thanksgiving Day games play back-to-back Thursdays, and then you continue on in your regular schedule. That way, no one plays on a short week, and you don't have to worry about that. So I would do away with all Thursday night games, with the exception of the Dallas and Detroit Thanksgiving games, and that's how I would work those games. That's me personally. It's never going to happen because the NFL is greedy. They want more and more money. They want to control another day of the week. They want to play in London. They want to play in Spain. They want to play on the moon. Greedy, greedy, greedy. Give me more, more, more. So no one's talking about that with this Tua injury. As far as this game, Miami, -3 in the Meadowlands against the Jets. Like I said, Teddy ball game. Bridgewater will play. Tua is out. We don't know when he's going to be back. I'm going to move it to 9 and take the Jets. Another tough division game. The Jets have a little momentum off the big win in Pittsburgh. I don't love Teddy Bridgewater. I think this game will be close. Usually the Miami Jet games in the Meadowlands are close. So I'm going to take the Jets +9 in a 2-team teaser. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go down to Carolina, where the San Francisco 49ers are -6 against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers down to 1-3, lost to Arizona, looked terrible. Mayfield, the bloom is off the rose. The bloom has been off the rose. He's never going to be anything but a mediocre quarterback. As soon as Sam Darnold is healthy, I expect him to be in there. The Carolina offense looks awful. 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 San Francisco, they're up to 2-2, beat the Rams. I mean, the defense played outstanding. Just outstanding. They're good on all 3 levels of their defense. I thought Garoppolo did some good things. Of course, the receiver's out of his mind. I mean, just a good, solid win by the San Francisco 49ers last night. And they always beat the Rams, in the regular season. They were talking about that last night, that the Niners have beat the Rams like 7 times in a row in the regular season. That's all fine and good, but the Rams won the playoff game last year and went on to win the Super Bowl, and the Niners had a 10-point lead in that game. The Niners would give all those regular season wins back just to win that playoff game. The Rams are like, yeah, you can have the regular season. Come look at our ring. Anyway, I don't want to rain on the Niners parade because they did play well last night. As far as this game, Niners -6 in Carolina. I'm going to move it to pick them and take the Niners. I think the Niners are just better. I think their defense should dominate Carolina. Carolina shows me nothing. They show me nothing. They're like Washington. I'm not impressed at all with them. Not impressed with Mayfield. I don't like Donald, so I have no hope for him either. The Niner defense should shut down Carolina. Now, I know the Niners this year so far played a lot better at home. Their 2 road games, they've stunk it up. But I think they're just better than Carolina. Their defense should dominate this game. Niners, that's pick number 9. Pick number 10, let's go down to Washington, D.C. As I just mentioned, the Washington Commanders. With the Tennessee Titans are -2.5 against the Washington Commanders. Washington down to 1-3, lost to Dallas. Hung in the game, but can't get anything done really on offense. Wentz took 1,000,000 sacks. We know he's not all that great. It's going to be a long year for Washington. Tennessee up to 2-2. Nice road win in Indianapolis. Henry had a nice game. And I keep repeating myself with Washington, until Washington shows me something, I'm going to keep picking against them. So either Tennessee in the money line here or a wraparound teaser where you get Tennessee +3.5 in a teaser. I like the Titans to win the football game. I don't like Washington at all. They show me nothing. Nothing. I think Tennessee from top to bottom is the better football team, and they're going to win the football game. So Tennessee money line or a wraparound teaser with 3.5. I like the Titans. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go down to Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are -7 against the Houston Texans. Texans 0-3-1, lost to the Chargers, fell way behind, tried to rally but came up short. Pierce looks like a nice player for the Texans. He had a good game in defeat. Jacksonville, they're down to 2-2, lost to Philadelphia. Had too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. You can't make those kind of mistakes on the road against a good football team and expect to win the football game. Jacksonville was up 14-0 early, and then all the mistakes started to happen. Lawrence, picks, fumbles, stumbling, bumbling. Too many mistakes by Jacksonville. I guess it's not entirely a surprise. They have a young football team. Lawrence is a young quarterback. They're going to make those kind of mistakes. They didn't make those mistakes. They could have won this game, but they did, and they lost. Jacksonville, I believe, has played 3 of the first 4 games on the road. They played only 1 home game. That was the game they shut out Indianapolis. I like Jacksonville to come back in a big way at home this week. I'm going to move it to 1 in a 2-team teaser and take Jacksonville. I think they're going to be all over the winless Texans. I think Jacksonville's better now. Jacksonville's better. They will win this football game. I'm moving it to 1. Jaguars, pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go to Minnesota. With the Minnesota Vikings are -7 against the Chicago Bears. Bears down to 2-2, lost to the Giants. Just can't do anything offensively. They just can't move the ball from here to there. Minnesota, they had a nice win. They beat New Orleans in London, hung on and won at the end. New Orleans, of course, missed the field goal. Minnesota's up to 3-1. So good job by them getting out of London with a win. Again, I don't think Chicago can score. I have no faith in them going into Minnesota and winning the game. So I'm going to move it to 1 and take the Vikings. I have to think the Vikings at home in that dome, where they always play well, are going to have enough offense to get by the hapless Bears. The Bears, I know the Bears are 2-2, but they can't score. I'm moving it to 1, and I'm taking the Vikings, and I'm feeling comfortable doing it. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13, let's go up to New England. This is a bizarro game here. When the New England Patriots are -3 against the Detroit Lions, Lions down to 1-3, lost to Seattle. What is with this Lion defense? The Lions scored 45 points at home and lost. 45 points at home and lost because you almost gave up 50 to Seattle and Geno Smith. Are you kidding me? Oh, come on, Detroit. Come on. You got to do better than this. You can't give up 48 points to Seattle at home. That's atrocious defense. That's deplorable defense. That's unprofessional defense. New England, they're down to 1-3, lost a heartbreaker to Green Bay, a game they could have easily won. Remember, Jones is out, Hoyer went out, so now the third-string quarterback, Zappi, is in there. That's right, Zappi is in there. New England actually did some good things in this game. The game was right there for the taking, but Green Bay pulled it out. That was a tough loss for New England. They could have won that game. This is a bizarre game. Oh. Personally, I'd stay away from this game. But if I had to play it, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'd move it to 9 and take Detroit. Detroit can score points, and New England is now starting their third-string quarterback. He looked decent last week, but I don't know. And listen, it's always scary picking Detroit on the road, and I'm worried that Belichick will outcoach Campbell here. I'm worried about that, but New England, I can't trust them either right now. Personally, stay away from this game. If I had to play it, move it to 9 and take Detroit in a 2-team teaser, just because Detroit looks like they can score points. So you figure they're going to get their points, and you get 9 points in a 2-team teaser. Again, I'm not all that confident in it. It's a messy, ugly, sloppy game. That's pick number 13. Pick number 14. Let's go down to Tampa Bay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are -8 against the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons up to 2-2, beat Cleveland, had the big pick at the end of the game. 200 yards of rushing this game. I think the Atlanta running back is out this week, though. But Atlanta doing a decent job. We don't expect a lot from them. They are 2-2. Tampa Bay, they're down to 2-2, lost to Kansas City. Couldn't stop Kansas City. Could not stop Kansas City at all. I think Tampa Bay's offense is going to be fine. They got their weapons back. You saw they put up 31 points. Defense, listen, it should be better. Should be better this week. You're not playing Mahomes in Kansas City. You're playing Mariota and the Falcons. This is Tampa's third straight home game. They lost the first 2. I don't think they lose a third one. I think they win this football game. I'm moving it to 2 and taking Tampa Bay. You have to think the Bucs are going to respond here. You have to think they're not going to drop their third straight home game to Mariota and the Falcons. Buccaneers, pick number 14. Pick number 15, this is another London game. We're back in London with the Green Bay Packers are -8 against the New York Football Giants. I mentioned Green Bay, they're up to 3-1, beat New England in overtime. This was a tough game. Green Bay could have easily lost this game, but they did pull it out. Rodgers not happy after the game, say Green Bay cannot play this way and continue to win. Then you got the New York Football Giants. They're up to 3-1, beat Chicago. Listen, these are the teams the Giants can handle. The Giants can beat the Chicagos and the Carolinas and the Texans and those types of teams. The Giants will struggle against the better teams. The Giants are going to play a lot of these low-scoring games where points are at a premium. And against the better teams, they'll probably lose. But they can handle the Chicagos, the Carolinas, the Texans, etc. Jones hurt. We'll see if he plays. Remember, he went out of the game. Then Taylor went out with a concussion. At one point in the game, Barkley was running Wildcat every play. So we'll see if Jones plays. I think he'll give it a go. To me, both teams are 3-1, but I think for the Giants this week in London, it's kind of time to get back to reality. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to the here and the now. I'm moving this line to 2 and taking the Packers. I mean, the Packers are just better than the Giants. I don't think the Giants can beat Green Bay. I just don't think they can do it. You got a hobbled Jones going up against Rodgers. I think Green Bay will play a lot better this week than they did last week. And like I said, I don't think the Giants can beat the good teams in the league. I know they beat Tennessee week 1. I know they pulled it out. Generally speaking, I don't think the Giants are going to beat too many good teams. I think they'll handle the bad teams. And they think the Giants are setting a good foundation. But they're not ready yet to beat Green Bay and Rodgers. Green Bay, pick number 15. And the final pick number 16. Listen, I'm not picking this game. Again, I'm protesting Thursday Night Football. The Denver Broncos are at home, -3 against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are down to 1-3, lost to Tennessee. I mean, the Colts, I was thinking about this. The Colts had Rivers 3 years ago, then they went to Wentz, now it's Ryan. None of them seem to be working. It may be time to start all over and draft a quarterback. I was also thinking about Andrew Luck. The Colts thought Andrew Luck was going to be their quarterback for 15 years. But he had all those injuries, and then he retired. So the Colts, just a mess right now at 1-3. Denver, they're 2-2, lost to Las Vegas. The defense was not good at all. Now the running back's out for the year. They got a bunch of guys hurt. We know Denver's having trouble scoring. This is going to be a low-scoring, defensive slugfest. I'm not going to pick the game, but I think it'll be low-scoring. I think the defense will dominate the game, and it could go either way. I will not pick it because I cannot stand Thursday Night Football. I will hand that game off to you. All right, you're all caught up. You're all set for week number 5. Like I said, I had a nice week of picking last week, 11-4, 25-7 the last 2 weeks, and again, I am 45-20 overall. Thanks as always for the support. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. Enjoy the games. I'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Take care.